The nature around us, what we call universe in which we live, this is made of many things. These things we have given a category as radiation, which has got energy, and its example is the rays coming from sun, light coming from the sun, that is a radiation. Heat is a radiation. This is one category. Similarly, we have another category, that is material. Whatever we see around us, it has got particles. So the particles are material. This is a general classification, whatever this nature consists of. Now, this nature consists of radiation, material, and there are many phenomena which are going on in this physical world. What are these phenomena? Every day we see the sun rises and then set in the evening, and next day in the morning it again rises. So whatever things we see around us and whatever phenomena and whatever energy and radiation we are having, everything, things we are seeing, we are feeling, we want to give them names. We want to give them name to characteristic. What I mean to say, let example, this is this much and this is this much. I bring some another thing and this is this much, this is this much, this one is this much, and this is this much. What is this, and this? This is property of different things, and this property I have to give them name, and this property I want to measure. How much is this? How much is this? How much is this? And how much is this? I want to measure this property. Now this property I give a name, and we agree for a name length of this, length of this, and length of this. We give this characteristic a name length. So now I can say in this length is small and in this length is large. So this is a characteristic and I call it a quantity, a physical quantity, and I can measure this physical quantity. I can measure this physical quantity how much. Whenever I am answering the question how much, then what I am doing? I am measuring the property. So there is a physical quantity and there is an answer of how much. So the name of characteristic is known as physical quantity, which can be measured. Physical quantity can be measured. There are so many property like length, which are the other property. In these things, I discover a property and I name this property length. Now this has length and this is also length, and I can say this is pressing my hand less and this one pressing my hand more. What is the difference? This is the another characteristic of these things. This characteristic press my hand less and this characteristic press my hand more. There must be difference between that characteristic, and that characteristic is not length, because length of these two is same. This press my hand less and this press my hand more, and this is not because of length. So this is another characteristic, and that characteristic I have to give a name, and given it a name mass of this and mass of this. Now I say these two are equal in length. Length of both is equal, but in this mass is less and in this mass is more. So I have another quantity, and that quantity I have given a name, and that name is what? That name is mass. Earlier we saw another characteristic, that is length. Now we can say we know much about this universe or this nature. We have give name of characteristics of nature. One name is length, one name is mass, name of characteristic, and name of characteristic is physical quantity. And now if somebody asks what is the length between one sunrise to another sunrise, and then we think sunrise to sunrise, sunrise to sunrise, we cannot measure by length and we cannot measure by mass. That is new characteristic. Sunrise to sunrise, something is passing, that is new characteristic. I have to give name of this characteristic, and we give a name time. That is another characteristic of our nature, that is time. Then it has become very easy for us to measure the things, to refer the things, and to compare phenomena. What is the phenomena? Phenomena is whatever is happening in nature. Whatever is happening in nature is known as phenomena. Similarly, I have given name to phenomena. How? If I go from this place to this place and I take 10 seconds from this place to this place, I take 10 seconds, and you go from this place to this place, and you reached only in 5 seconds. In this case, we are traveling same distance, but my time is more and your time is less. What is the difference between two? There is a characteristic, there is a phenomena, and we have to given it a name, and name is speed. Then I say, if I reach fast, my speed is more. Now, can we measure speed? Because physical quantity, name of characteristic or property or phenomena in our nature and condition which can be measured. Now, can I measure speed? Can we ask how much is the speed? And the answer is yes. So, what is a physical quantity? Physical quantity is the name of a characteristic or property or phenomena in our nature which can be measured. Don't forget this, which can be measured. Example, mass, length, time, speed, area, etc. etc. In physical quantity, we make two categorization. One is fundamental quantity or basic quantity, and other is derived quantity. There are two categories of physical quantity. Fundamental quantity is the one which cannot be expressed in terms of any other quantity. Example, length. Length cannot be expressed in terms of mass. Our definition is fundamental quantity is the one which cannot be expressed in terms of any other quantity. So example is length. Length cannot be expressed in terms of mass. Another example, time. Time cannot be expressed in terms of length or in terms of mass. So these are physical quantity. Which type of physical quantity? These are fundamental quantity. Why? Because these cannot be expressed in terms of any other quantity. And number two category is derived quantity. Derived quantity is that characteristic which can be expressed in terms of many fundamental quantities. Example, area, volume, speed, force, work, etc. etc. Why these are derived quantity? Because we can express these quantity in terms of fundamental quantities. Like example, area. Area is equal to L into B, length into breadth, and breadth is also a length. So area can be expressed in terms of length into length. Length and length, physical fundamental quantity. So area is derived quantity because area can be expressed in terms of fundamental quantity. Volume, L into B into H, length into breadth into height, and breadth and height also is a length. So volume can be expressed in terms of fundamental quantity. Speed equal to distance upon time, and distance from here to here, and distance is also a length. So speed is equal to distance upon time. Distance is a length, and time, length and time both are fundamental quantity. Speed is also expressed in terms of fundamental quantity. So speed is derived quantity. Derived quantity is that characteristic which can be expressed in terms of many fundamental quantities, and fundamental quantity which cannot be expressed in terms of any other quantity. Area can be expressed in terms of length and length. Speed can be expressed in terms of length and time, but mass cannot be expressed in terms of length, and length cannot be expressed in terms of mass. So these are fundamental basic quantity, these are derived quantity. Now question is, how many fundamental quantities are in nature? Answer: there are 7 fundamental quantity. We found 7 fundamental quantity in nature. These are mass, length, time, temperature, electric current, luminosity, brightness, number of particles. These are 7 fundamental quantities. Now we understand what is meant by physical quantity. It is the name of characteristic which can be measured. And there are millions of physical quantity in nature. And we have categorized it in 2 types: fundamental quantity and derived quantity. These are 7 fundamental quantity and later 2 more physical quantity added in this. One is plane angle, another is solid angle. But what we remember, these are 7 fundamental or basic quantity, and these 2 known as additional or supplementary quantity.